What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. It's Monday, y'all. It's just another manic Monday. I hope it's not manic. So far, my Monday has been okay. Yeah, it's a nice day out. I did not walk this morning because I had a lot to do, before I came over here with y'all. But I'm hoping to go ahead and get outside, as soon as I'm done here. Y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is Coffee Talk. If you've not been here before, then what we do over here on Coffee Talk is we talk about current events, we talk about a little bit of celebrity gossip, and we keep ourselves informed on history and excellence. That's Black excellence and Black history. If you didn't know, because if we don't talk about it over here, then who gonna talk about it with us? And we definitely need to have these conversations. So before we get started on any of that, let's
Be a message to you. You holding on to shit too long. hmm Sometimes you just gotta let shit go. Yeah? Wanna get rid of your problems? Let that shit go. That's all.
get into that one more time.
Let this be a message to you. You holding on to shit too long. hmm Sometimes you just gotta let shit go. Yeah? Wanna get rid of your problems? Let that shit go. That's all.
Do we sometimes have a problem letting shit go? I feel like I do. Sometimes, we can, what does Sutton Stress say? Let the mouse go. Sometimes we can get our hands on the mouse and we just can't let it go. I, um, I guess I'm trying to do better. You know what I'm saying? When you focus on things that, you could improve on, I'm a grudge holder and I can hold on to a grudge for a very long time, and you find that it depending on the space. So I'm gonna say in my workspace I have held a grudge, it's probably been 3 years now, where when I have decided I don't f with you, then that's what it is. I just don't f with you. Sometimes that can make things more complicated. um I feel like in my life, it's definitely made things more complicated. It's affected me, my paper, because the people that I was holding a grudge against were definitely the gateholders to my income directly. My book, because I'm a hairstylist, so the gatekeeper of the book. If they don't like you, then it could be a problem. Good morning, T. I'm getting just over here talking about how sometimes we don't let go of shit. Myself, I'm putting myself at the top of the list because I don't know. Do you have some shit that it's been very hard to let go of? You know the story, T. I was telling the people out here that at my workplace I've held a grudge for so very long, and it definitely affected my money. And sometimes you got to figure your way out of that. I'm an old dog, and it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, but I am trying to move more strategically, in that manner, because you can definitely you know affect yourself more than you affect others. Let's hit it one more.
Let this be a message to you. You holding on to shit too long. hmm Sometimes you just gotta let shit go. Yeah? Wanna get rid of your problems? Let that shit go. That's all.
Sometimes you just got to let shit go, especially if it's to your own detriment. So, yeah, this is one of those times where I feel like I need to listen to my own advice and figure out, is it worth it to be holding on to the shit? Is the shit bringing value to your life or not? Probably not if it's considered shit. So if you hold it on the shit, let it go. And, then you'll be, more on a clear path to the things that you're trying to get to. So, yeah, note to my daggum self, you know, let the shit go, because I have a problem with that. So let's go ahead and get into the things. We got some good stories today. I apologize for Thursday. I forgot that I was the designated driver. My daughter had oral surgery on Thursday. So, right in the middle of my live, I had to bounce. And so whatever we didn't cover over there on Thursday, we're going to get into it over here today because I am dying to hear y'all's opinion on some of the things that I have scheduled for Thursday. But for now, we're going to start in this new spot. This young excellence that we have over here. So let me try to struggle through this paragraph or so, and then, we'll listen to the little girl because, she could tell the story far better than I can. But at just 6 years old, Zoe Ali looked around and couldn't find a doll with her hair like hers. So she built one. And then this is a 6-year-old. So you might think, really, at 6-year-olds? Obviously, she had a supportive parent or parents, to help guide her. I think sometimes, we need to feed into the things that our kids enjoy or speak about when they're little. Like 6, what is she like? At 6 years old, she already had an idea. I think as parents, we tend to try to push on our children the things that we wanted to do or we want them to do. And sometimes, greatness comes out of just paying attention to what they like and helping to guide them and feed into that. So what started as a little girl's idea became a beautiful curly me. A full doll empire rooted in representation, confidence, and natural hair pride. Now at 13, she is a CEO and a TEDx speaker, published author, and a history maker. She didn't wait for someone to create what she needed. She built it herself, and that is the lesson. 6 out of 10 Black girls don't like their natural hair. Ugh. I feel like that trend is changing, and it's going to take representation like this to make it happen. Zoe decided to tag a little girl who needs to see this. Oh, wait, hold on. Zoe decided to change that, one doll at a time. And then it says tag a little girl who needs to see this. So let's go ahead and see what Miss Zoe had to say, because like I said, she's better at speaking on her behalf than I am. And what an intelligent, lovely young lady this is. I'll look for these dolls, and where we're talking about spending our money, and we're, Christmas time. We into going into spring. So this is where you start preparing for the holidays, y'all. Just go ahead and pick you one up. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll have these things ready, and you'll be supporting, this young melanated lady. So let's hear what she got.
Have you ever wanted to be something you're not? I can bet everybody in this room has, and well, so have I. It is important to own and embrace all the things that make you you, but it may not always be easy. 6 out of 10 girls do not like their natural hair. Girls' confidence drops by 30% by age 8. Studies have shown that lack of representation hurts self-confidence. And sadly, many girls just don't have the self-esteem to reach their highest potential. I, too, was one of them. One day when I was 6, I came home from school and asked my mom, "Mommy, why isn't my hair straight or pretty like my classmates?" You see, most of my peers did not look like me or have hair like mine. I really wanted to fit in, but seeing them do things with their hair that I can do the same way made me start to question my hair.
I want to pause right there just for 1 second because I grew up in that same environment. And I think a lot of times we see, and it's a time, you know what I'm saying? I think we don't have the same issues necessarily. Well, we have the same issues to some extent, but we have access to other things. Good morning, Miami Gardens now. I grew up in going to private schools and being the only Black kid in the class. My mother was very adamant about me being in private schools. Now, in Michigan, in Flint, where I grew up, that wasn't a problem necessarily because a lot of GM people and, a lot of us were going to the same school. So in Michigan, my environment was very diverse. When I moved down here to Florida and she wanted to stay on the same program as, private school, didn't want to, and I mean, not knocking her decision, because I did have access to things maybe in the private school that I didn't have in the public school, but I definitely went through being the only black kid, and that has a very different mindset. You have to have you building relationships with people. I always stayed in the background and paid attention to how they move because they move different. But at the same time, one thing I didn't have is the insecurity of my complexion and my hair texture, and probably because outside of school, like at home, my friends were black, you know. So I wasn't just in an environment everywhere where I was trying to fit in with them. I was at school with them until school was over. And then, I guess I just learned how to code switch early on in life. But let's get back into Miss Zoe and hear what she's saying in terms of her uh, young business woman.
They also used to ask me if they could touch my hair, which made me feel weird and different. My mom, as you can imagine, was heartbroken. She tried to encourage me with affirmations and books, which really helped. But what started this journey was my doll. You may not realize it, but representation in play is so important. Toys affect the way we see, think, and feel about ourselves. Only 26.3% of children's books feature kids of color. Studies like the Clark doll test, where kids were shown black and white dolls, and they all repeatedly said the black doll was ugly, have shown that it is important at a young age to show kids a positive reflection of themselves in the books we read, toys we play with, and content we watch. Dolls specifically are meaningful in the life of a child, especially girls. A doll is usually a girl's first best friend and is seen as a standard of beauty. So, my mom bought me a black doll. She looked perfect. Beautiful cocoa skin just like mine, not to mention an adorable outfit. Well, except for one thing. The hair. Unlike the rest of her features, this doll's hair was silky straight down her back and did not represent my hair and the other 60% of the world that has curly hair. I told my mom I wanted dolls with hair like mine, so we went back to the store and were surprised to not find any. Now, up to this point, a lot of people might have given up and said, well, okay, that's unfortunate, but not me. I was in my room. I was in my room looking at all my dolls, all the ones that didn't look like me. And then it hit me. If I couldn't find dolls with hair like mine to play with, I wanted to create them, not only for myself, but for other girls. So, little 6-year-old me went to my mom and proudly told her that I wanted to make a business and do something about this.
Welcome to Wix Harmony. Take the speed of AI and pixel level control to go from words into a full website that's entirely yours to share. Need a new page?
Now, of course, my mom said yes, but she didn't exactly take me seriously. So 1 hour turned to 1 day, which turned to a week, which you get the idea. I continuously nagged my mom, asking her, when are we going to start my business? My mom saw my consistency and realized that I did want to make my own dolls. So we began. Starting a business isn't easy, and a lot.
Can I just shout out her mom, because that's not like right now she's 13, but this idea came to her when she was 6 years old. And clearly her mother is educated enough to, help this young lady start a business. You know what I mean? I feel like, who was it? Stormy, which, I'm going to go ahead and get the Bell Collective Birmingham video out. But Stormy was like in the introduction of her show, was telling, just the history of, how her business started. And she said she wanted to call it Canvas Beauty. And she said her mother told her she was a dumb bitch. What kind of response is that to your child who's, telling you their hopes and dreams? And I'm going to tell you, it's so funny because when my daughter was little, my youngest one, she was like, I want to grow up and be a YouTuber. And I was like, that's ridiculous. What is that, a YouTuber? And here I sit, what I'm saying, on YouTube. So, you have to, I feel like I said earlier, hone into the things that, your children are saying. And, if you have the intelligence and not the money, then maybe you can find somebody to help. And for those little girls who don't like have that at home, they got this little girl to represent for them that they can do it. So, if you don't know, you don't know.
Happened between the idea and the actual company. First things first, we had to do a lot, and I mean a lot, of research. From finding a manufacturer to working with designers, I wanted to make dolls that I knew other girls would love. And nearing early 2019, after a lot of hard work, we launched my company. I remember receiving our first dolls and even getting our first orders from complete strangers.
Oh my God,
it felt
they
so
are so
exciting
cute.
to see girls run up to the dolls and hug them. Hearing a little girl tell me she loved her doll because she had braids like hers, and another girl pointing at a doll saying, "Mommy, she looks like me." Moments like these warm my heart and make it all worth it. Running a business as a 10-year-old girl while struggling school and extracurricular activities hasn't been easy. I've given up many playdates to pack orders or to sell at trade shows. I remember a time when we had no inventory and our manufacturer could not get our dolls to us in time for the holiday season. Or another time when I could not participate in a major production at school. I have had times when I didn't feel so confident about the future. But there have been many great days also, and I'm grateful for the support of my mom, team, school, family, and the community. Despite the challenges, what has kept me going is my mission and realizing my impact, and I love that I'm able to inspire other girls. One girl specifically comes to mind. Let's call her Maddie for now.
You asked a question. I'm gonna get to the information. Like, what's the name of the doll? I will, after she's done. We'll get into the details a little bit more. You say, "Oh wow, her mother is absolutely disgusting. Why not empower her?" You talking about Stormy? Look at Stormy now. Yeah, she's building her mother a house. I hope that Stormy doesn't allow her mother on this show. Keep her wherever she's at, because that lady is just nasty. I call her Rasputia. But let's get back into Zoe, and then we'll get into the details, because the more I hear her talk, the more I want to make sure I purchase some dolls. I have a great niece, you know what I'm saying, who's like, sassy and miss. I can, probably make a TV show just off of her photographs. And then, I got my little baby. So we don't always have access to this information. And, like I said, like she said, she was sold out and stuff in Christmas. And, we can go ahead and get on this now so we can know who, have our babies have dolls, varieties of them. Remember the American Girl dolls and how those things, $200-$300 for them dolls? Anyway.
She, like me, was having self-esteem issues, so her mom bought her dolls and a copy of my book. When the review came in, they shared that she loved that her doll's hair looked like hers and that her book helped her say affirmations. Months later, her mom shared that she was loving her hair, feeling even more confident in herself, and trying out for more school activities. She even has found a passion for sewing and sews clothes for her dolls, and I'm excited to work with her on this.
Oh my God, they're so pretty. Look at them.
Smart founders know something most people miss. Get your domain name even if you're not ready to launch your business. With Wix, you can grab yours now and then get to work. Here's why it matters. Back in 2019, I had this killer business idea, but I delayed getting the
I want to help even more girls have the confidence to follow their dreams. And I love that I'm able to give dolls away to young girls in need, because every girl should have a doll that she can see herself in and feel beautiful, no matter what. A lot of people ask me, how are you able to do all this? What makes you so confident? What I would say is passion. When you love what you do, it makes you 10 times more excited to do it. I have found entrepreneurship, and I also love reading books, which made me very excited to write my own. We all have our own gifts, but must have the confidence and courage to use them. For me, the end goal is confidence. Through this journey, I continue to build mine and discover myself. I've gone from not liking my hair to fully embracing my curls, and beyond that, loving who I am inside and out. With every doll I create,
Oh my gosh, it's so cute.
with every doll I create or book I write, I am able to show another little girl that it is possible to do anything she sets out to do. To all the young girls that are listening, believe in yourself. Don't take no for an answer. Be you. Remember that confidence is a journey. Sometimes you may feel confident in yourself, and sometimes you may not. That is okay. Building your confidence should be a daily habit, and it starts in the mind. Saying positive affirmations, exploring and discovering your passions by doing things you love, and playing with, reading, and watching things that will empower you are important. I like to call this putting a pep in your step. So I challenge you to help the little girls in your life build their self-confidence. Listen to their ideas and empower them. Start early, giving them toys and books that positively reflect them. Surround them with people that will help them by exposing them to organizations that uplift girls. Together, let's raise the next generation of curly and confident girls that will change the world. Thanks.
I'm sold. I want one in every style. I want one with braids and I want one with curls. What an amazing, good morning, high five. What an amazing young lady. I feel like definitely she's something special. But I mean, I like that her book, she said, inspired the designer in a little girl and, the hairstylist in a little girl. And if we don't have representation, we can't necessarily be inspired, to do the next thing, cooking or, being entrepreneurs in a way. Because right now, but working for a corporation is not necessarily, the business it used to be. Things come in ebbs and flows. Right now, corporations are dealing with a lot of, AI infiltration. You say fear and lack of info stops folks from starting businesses. Congrats to her mom for listening and helping her follow her dream. This message resonates with not only young girls, but everyone. It inspired me. You know what I'm saying? And it's never too late. It's never too late to learn. First of all, my favorite color is green. I always say I want to stay green because if I'm not green, I'm not learning anything. So thumbnail looks a poster for delusional. It is. And we'll get into that later on. High five. Ooh, we're gonna have to, anyway. Let me look at her page one more time and see, because you asked for the name of the doll. I'm definitely gonna, I'm sure she's got a website and an Instagram. So, if you have a minute to go look up Zoe Ali. I don't see the name of the doll. Let's see. Pretty Melanin Bosses. This is this is Pretty Melanin. That's where I got the information from. Pretty Melanin Bosses. So, I'll put the link in the description. And then if you want to go on a journey of discovery, the information is there. But I love this. And we're still early in the year. We ain't got to the halfway mark yet. So it's not too late for us to go ahead and support Black business. You know what I'm saying? Here's another one. This is something else I really want to purchase. I have a young one with some big old boobies. So it says, Shaper V official says, never give up on your dreams. A few years ago, Shaper V CEO noticed a common frustration among women when shopping for bras. They dig into the skin, they roll up, they lack proper support, and they fail to hide back fat. Yeah, they do. They're mostly just lame. Especially like, this is the thing. If you're going to get a good bra, you're going to have to spend some decent money on a good bra. And I'm not talking about like back in the day, we used to be spending all that money on Victoria's Secrets not for comfort and not for, all we was doing was trying to push our titties up out of the top of the shirt. But it was uncomfortable and not practical for everyday stuff. Victoria's Secrets is for bounce chicka wow wow. In response, Tamia took matters into her own hands and designed her own wireless and underwire bras that offer maximum support, full coverage, comfort, and minimizes bounce and movement. Just what women need. So let's go to the webpage because I wanted to show y'all this young lady.
Look how low I drop when I take off this wireless, stretchy, super comfortable bra. This is where they were with the bra on. The difference is crazy. Yes, you heard me right. These are 100% underwire free. They have these little jelly strips that push you up and support you. You get some thick adjustable straps. It is very full coverage and stretchy both ways. And they come with a band extender. I'm wearing the 4X. These are on sale right now for an insane price with free shipping. Run and grab yours before the sale ends. I have it linked. I'm a 46I cup. Look how low I drop when I take off this wireless.
46I. I've never heard of that before. And it's not just for, the extra large girlies.
Full coverage jelly bra with thick, comfortable straps. Full coverage jelly bra that is super comfortable, giving the girl support and comfort. No underwire. Full coverage, wide back bend, eye hook closure. I made 34 triple D in a size medium, and this bra is literally perfect. New leopard colors. They have multiple different colors, solids, and prints. I'm going to link her below. Grab this bra. Full coverage.
So let's go to the website. Like I said, my youngest daughter, them things are be thanging. So, and honestly, I can't stand like an uncomfortable bra. They're hard to find. So I figure if they can hold up these ladies, then, I shouldn't have no problems. Let's see. I wanted to go over to the website so y'all can see what she offers over here. She's got the shop bras. That's what it says. These regular full coverage bras are great for under, your regular clothes, your everyday. But I'm looking at the prices. She got a markdown over here from $69.99 to $32.95. There's the lace version if you want to, do something a little sexier. You know what I'm saying? With still full coverage, $29.95. Those are the ones that are on sale, I'm guessing. She's got waist shapers. I just want y'all to see the waist shapers on sale right now, $39.99. It's springtime, so, people are probably going to be having a lot of sales. Let's see what we got. Can I get it down? I like these when I'm walking to help my back. Those not waist trainer things. Those waist trainer things are like have your kidneys in a chokehold. But I like wearing these when I'm walking. It just helps with your posture and, helps shape your waist. Those look nice, actually. How much is that one? That is $39.99. That's a comparable price to the rest of them that they have out here. Do y'all have a hard time looking for bras? And I think, these right here, I got some of these off of Shein, and they was not doing what they were supposed to do. Now, I know it's not a miracle, and your booty ain't just going to look like that. But I do like the shape of these. And these, when I'm at work, I like something that I need pockets so I can have my phone and things. And so, yeah, I want to try these. 2 pair for $79.52. So, it depends. Like I said, I need them for work. I need a good quality, legging for work. I've seen these commercials, and I did not know that this was a Black-owned business. So shout out to her. I think that's, it's for us. You know what I'm saying? We need to know where we're spending our money. And if I can get something of good quality and I know I'm spending my money on, Black dollars, then I'm going to look for that. You love the side of the bra? Yeah, because it covers the chi-chis, where you be falling out from over top of your tank top and things. And then you didn't get all your push-ups in. You said you're not convinced waist trainers are good for your organs. That's not the same thing. That's what I was saying. I have a waist trainer, and then it takes you 10 minutes to and I haven't used it in a really long time. I used it more so when it was popular, but you take you 10 minutes to squish yourself in there, and then that thing be stuck down in your kidneys. And yeah, I don't think it's good for your organs. But these right here, you can control how tight you make them so you're not suffocating, you know what I'm saying, when you have it on. And like I said, I wouldn't be walking around, in my regular day with it on, but I would definitely wear it when I'm on my walk, because it does help your posture, with your back. And sometimes when I'm walking, and you know how you just turn around and check
requested for a while. What do you
turn around to check on?
Wait, who is this? Roman Reigns.
Sorry, I don't know what's happening here with this. I might twist my back out trying to turn around and see what's going on behind me. So yeah, I'll be checking out both these things. I definitely want the doll for sure. And I'm gonna try the bra for my daughter, because she's not a member of the itty bitty. She's the big old bitty titties. I saw this story earlier this week. Vogue magazine is receiving backlash for trying to gentrify the afro, calling Tracy Ross's afro a cloud bob. Where did they even get that from? What the hell is a cloud bob, and why did they decide that's what they was going to call that? Nowhere ever have I heard the term cloud bob. So who was over there in the Vogue offices trying to un-afro an afro? Now, I will say, I like Tracy Ellis's products. I haven't used her curl products, but I have used her edge control. And so she is the one celebrity who I definitely recommend my clients to. But did y'all see her special that she did with Oprah? And it was all about hair. Anyway, I just had to bring that up, Vogue. We're not trying to hear anything about no daggone cloud bob. It's an afro. So let's call it what it is. Just like the little girl was saying, you know what I'm saying? Just these slight little things and then you know what's going to happen? A bunch of white women are going to come to the salon asking for a cloud bob. And I'm going to be like, I'm not sure what that is. What is a cloud bob? Jeez, oh, Pete. Speaking of them, let's get into their business and what they over here doing. Let me reshare. Let's see what you're saying over here. You said total disrespect. Cloud bob. That's definitely gentrification of the fro. Where did they even come up? Do you ever think sometimes I listen to commercials and you're like, so y'all were all sitting at a boardroom table and discussing how this was all going to play up, and you decided cloud bob? Ooh, that's a good idea. It was probably a white man, because they firing all the women out of the corporations and offices anyway. So it's a table full of white men. Is it Anna Wintour? Come to the front. I don't think that Tracy Ellis had anything to do with that. I would love to hear what she has to say about it. Let's call up Tracy and see what she thinks. I think this all came out as they were writing the article. I want to hear her out of her mouth say cloud bob, because I don't believe it. I think Tracy is an afro girl. That's what she does, afros. That's them over there in the, like I said, Anna Wintour, you approved this. Did you just come past your desk? Did y'all see that there's going to be a part 2 of Devil Wears Prada? I guess. I don't know. When I saw the first one, I was like, couldn't be me. Because when she threw that jacket on the floor, that's where it would have laid. And I would have took my purse and my keys to the bathroom and never came back. So more of this ignorance of these people. So this fool, RFK Jr. was confronted by Rep. Terry Sewell during a congressional hearing over resurfaced comments in which he suggested Black children on ADHD medication should be reparented. Are you for real? They just... Oh my word. The exchange escalated when RFK denied ever saying it. He said it, and we got him on tape because this is how stupid they are.
Bot podcast interview, you suggested that Black children on ADHD medication should be reparented. You said every Black kid is now just standardly put on Adderall, SSRI, benzos, which are known to induce violence, and that those children are going to have to go somewhere to get reparented.
My question is, why are those children being prescribed those drugs? Is it just our children or is it everybody's children? So why are we prescribing our children, those children, medication that, has these type of side effects? So then you could say they have a tendency to be violent?
There is a lot to unpack in that comment. I know that you've already answered several of the questions I was going to ask, and so I'm just going to rephrase them. Mr. Secretary, you've already admitted that you are not board certified physician, and you've already admitted that you did not go to medical school. Have you ever reparented, or parented, I should say, a Black child?
I don't even know what that phrase means, and I doubt that.
Yes or no answer.
I doubt that I said that phrase. No,
absolutely.
I'm not going to answer something that I didn't say.
You absolutely said it.
Oh, I'd like to hear the recording.
So to be clear,
it doesn't make any sense. I don't even know what it means.
I don't either. That's why I'm asking.
And by the way,
so to be clear, you're not a doctor, you have no medical degree, and you have no formal medical training. You have never parented a Black child.
24 of the 26 HHS secretaries have not had medical
degrees. This is my time. And I say to the chairman, I want to reclaim my time. So you are not a doctor, have no formal medical training, and you've never parented a Black child, and yet you are suggesting that the federal government should take Black children away from their families and reparent them and send them off to some wellness farm instead of providing them with evidence-based.
You're just making stuff up.
I am absolutely not making this up.
Wellness farms, rehabilitation facilities that I'm going to start where any American can go for free, any of them who is dependent on drugs, either legal drugs or illegal drugs. Psychiatric drugs, which every Black kid is now just standard put on Adderall, SSRIs, benzos, which are known to induce violence. And those kids are going to have a chance to go somewhere and get reparented.
In a 2024 podcast interview,
I have so many questions. First of all, what is he taking? Why do he sound like that? Because he might need to go, I don't know, gargle. You said, how about revoke the license of the doctors over prescribing medications? Are they still doing that? I don't need my school to prescribe anything for my child. If my child has health issues, then we will do that outside of the school program. Who's prescribing Adderall? Are they still doing that? I remember there was a time when, they had Ritalin. I worked with this girl. She was a grown woman, but, young woman who, I don't know if she was prescribed Adderall, but she sure said she was taking Adderall. She seemed like one of these people that were self-prescribed. And when I tell you, when that girl took that Adderall, she was loud. It was uncomfortable. She doesn't work there anymore. Finally, Okay, so quick story. So this particular girl, I came to work one day and, I get out of the car. I walk past someone slumped over on the curve outside, on the side of the building where the salon is. And so I was like, sometimes it's a downtown kind of area. So sometimes homeless people, appear from, out of wherever, it is they tend to be and into, where the businesses are. So I thought she was homeless. And then I'm in the salon and a coworker comes in and he was like, did you know homegirl? And I was like, where? He was like, outside on the curb. And I was like, that was her slumped over on the curb. And so, yeah, that was pretty much the demise of her working at the business. But her behavior was out of control. So when he says violent or whatever type of behavior it is, if you don't need Adderall, it definitely has an adverse reaction on how you behave, you know. And she would be really loud, and it was just, like I said, so uncomfortable. But I want to know, like, who we can't get insurance and Medicare and things, medical insurance. And so when we get it, they prescribing, you know, Adderall and Bentos and all of these things. And now you want to prescribe them the drugs and then send them to a wellness farm? No, thank you, Dr. Phil. We saw how that turned out, and I'm going to go with no. And so this is another, you know, example of why we have to take the health care of our own, you know, into our own hands. You said, I know his daddy uncles are rolling in their grave. He has no medical background and as much experience. Yeah, he doesn't have any experience. He doesn't have any medical background. You said you do work in the medical field, and it's a disgrace to have him in that position. I feel like it's intentional. It's so wild. Like, it's a crazy man that says crazy things. You know what I'm saying? And then people like this lady got to sit up here and argue with him. He talking about, what does that mean? And what is reparenting? Are they out of their mind? What is reparenting? Who gets to make that decision? Based on what? You're going to send my kids to a wellness farm under the guise of getting them under control and their drug habits under control, and then reparent them? He has some kind of neurological condition that causes spasm in his vocal cords, I believe, but his medical health is not mentioned what that diagnosis is. I guess he's just, maybe it's Adderall or whatever the hell he's over here trying to feed to the kids. Maybe it's alcohol. He sounds like an old drunk of the cocaine. I don't know. I don't know what he does. It's insane. And I feel like because Trump is so stupid, he likes to keep stupid people around to make him not feel as stupid as he actually is. You said those wellness places are owned by their friends and families. This is another way for them to make money off of the people. Well, thankfully, we are starting to know that. Thankfully, like Cat Williams, the people are being exposed, and they are being exposed. You know, how about you let us have our land back, and we can wellness our people out there and teach them how to, you know, grow and farm, and they could take away something that's useful besides, I don't know, farming for these folks. And we don't know what's on the farm over there. What are they doing? I don't like the idea. It's very cultish. I don't like the idea of sending your family member somewhere where he can't, you can't go see them. It's some, you know, white woman dressed in, you know, boho clothes, speaking all softly and trying to explain. That's creepy. That's the sunken place. Don't send your kids over to the sunken place. He's on that Adderall and that sugar booger. Yeah, they all be down there in that sugar booger, playing with each other's booty holes, acting like they're anti-gay. I'm sorry, did I go too far? That's just how I be feeling. Because they're so gay focused, I feel like they be doing gay stuff and they don't want anybody to know about it. Because we don't think about it. You know what I'm saying? Until y'all come over here. You know what else they do? Like to pretend like they know the Bible. Pete Hegseth.
Is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of camaraderie and duty, shepherd the lost through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to capture and destroy my brother. And you will know my call sign is Sandy 1 when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
And you will know my name is the Lord.
The path of the downed aviator is beset on all sides.
He should have just let Sam Jackson, he should have just played this part. You know what I'm saying? From Pulp Fiction. Does this man, Secretary of Defense, I think that's his title, went over here to a speech and he used Sam Jackson's lines from Pulp Fiction, a movie that is a cult classic. So I don't know why he thought he wasn't going to be clocked. I guess what he thought was that's an actual Bible verse. But most of the time, people say, hey, you know, he's a what do you call him? Christian nationalist, MAGA man. He should have his Bible everywhere, in the car, over around to his side chick's house, over around to his boyfriend's house with the big fake titties on, you know, because they're doing some weird shit over there. So, you know, he should have a lot of Bibles access to them. And he could have went to the Bible and find out that this is actually not there, that it's actually just lines from a movie. But he didn't have time to research that. Him and his homeboy was over there tiddling each other's diddle, and they was watching Pulp Fiction, and he decided he was going to bring that over here to, you know, the public. Now he's a laughing stock. Once again, we have these people over here in charge doing stupid stuff, you know what I'm saying, and getting away with it. That's the thing that's so irritating, is that they are actually getting away with it. All the things that they're doing are moving forward, and you know, we got to figure out a way to put a stop to that. Down to the polls, it's about to be interesting. And I noticed like they're having a lot of ads right now. All the ads, political ads, are talking about gerrymandering and trying to confuse the people as to whether to vote yes or no. So we're going to talk about that too. I like to get down to, it's time to get down to the polls, and there's the yes and the no's, and a lot of the people are confused. Me and my daughter sit down with our you know, the sheet that they send you over to vote, the card, and we go through each thing, you know what I'm saying, before we get over there, so we know what the hell. And I feel like you need to know that. Nobody expects you to be very informed, because most of us are not that informed. That's why things go the way they do. I sit and listen to people. Well, I watch people in the community page complain constantly, daily, about the mess that's going on within the homeowners association, but they don't know when the meetings are, who the people are on the board. Like if you got to get up and go see what's going on if you want to see some things change. You know what hasn't changed? Caitlin's passport. And so Caitlin can't go nowhere with Bruce's passport. Let's see what y'all saying over here. You said this just solidifies that these folks have never stepped foot in church. No, they never cracked the book open, and yet they know all the God's word. Unfortunately, it's from a movie script. Not just any movie, too. Pulp Fiction. Like, my kids, like, that movie is generational. People still watching Pulp Fiction. So, yeah. Anyway, poor Caitlin. Do we feel sorry for her? She's trying to fly, but she can't. It says, this is ironic. Caitlyn Jenner claims she wrote a letter to Trump after running into an issue with her passport, listing her as male instead of female, which she claims stopped her from being able to travel internationally. This is hilarious to me. Is it psychotic? Is it mental illness? Is that what it is, where people can't like understand the fact that when you vote against your own self, that you're going to find yourself in these types of situations? According to reports, Caitlin said the situation raised serious safety concerns, especially when traveling abroad. Only a white man would think this way. I'm just saying. I'm not talking about Caitlin, for God's sake. Don't get all on me. She's now pushing for the documents to properly reflect her gender, saying mismatch identification could put her at risk in certain countries. I wonder, is it going to put her at risk down to the polls when she goes down there to vote? And they're like, what was your birth certificate say? This is going to be my birth certificate says the same thing as my driver's license, because I never married anyone. So my names are the same on all the things. Jenner has been longtime Trump supporter, and critics are pointing out that politics tied to gender recognition and documentation have been a hot topic under this administration. Now, social users are saying the same system she supported is causing her problems. Yeah, this goes for, the Latinas and all the people that keep, supporting this administration, even though they keep telling you exactly what it is they're trying to do. When they say they're trying to send my kids to some wellness farm, I say, I don't even have to do that. I don't have to go over there. What y'all saying? Tell folks all day long they better show up to these community meetings and pay attention. You have to. You know what? And I look at my community page and it feels like they go there for anything. I'm like, do anybody know a dentist? That one I get, you know what I'm saying? But I see some questions like, do you go actually out there to find out the information, or you just come to the community page to ask questions? But when it's time to go to the homeowners association meetings, y'all don't know where it's at, but you'll put over there how pissed off you are that they don't like your trash can. You don't feel sorry for this person. I don't feel sorry for this person either. But this is what you wanted, Caitlin. Caitlin, you are not going to be allowed to use Bruce's passport. So I don't know what to tell you. You wrote a letter to Trump. Let's see how that works. I feel like he got a lot of letters over there. Will Caitlin be able to vote? I don't know. Her birth certificate don't match Bruce's birth certificate. So, I guess they'll have to reissue. I don't know what's going to go, but Caitlin has a lot of money. And I think she's finding out when you cut off your penis, the boys don't like you as much anymore. I'm going to get in trouble. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just talking about Caitlin. I'm not talking about the transgender community. So, please don't take it the wrong way. Because, that's what she get for voting for those people. I'm sorry, Caitlin. They can look at you and tell that Bruce, this is not me. I'm not say this. And I'm not laughing. The paperwork won't make a difference. You talking about when she goes over to other countries and she thinks that, the paperwork is the reason why the people are going to be acting, transphobic. No, I think, they're just going to know because they can tell. She voted Republican. No matter what body part she added, she didn't change her complexion. That's what considers first when she votes. You're probably right. You know what I'm saying? I was just looking for Caitlin to run into more problems over here, because she's stupid. But you're probably right. She's white first. But, these white women ain't looking too good over here. They're Xing them off the, list, one right after another. I don't know what these, people that got fired in the last couple of weeks, these women that was out here cheering for Trump. I don't know that they're employed anywhere. And one of them came home to her man wearing titties. So there you go. What else we got going on over here? We moving right along, child. Let me look at my list. I don't want to skip anything. I'm trying to stay in order. This is disgusting. Speaking of these disgusting people, let's get into this story. I saw it the other day and I was like, let me make sure that's real before I start talking about it. You said the SAVE Act applies to women and Caitlin is a woman. Welcome to the club of being on the receiving end of misogyny. Yes, now she about to see what they really think, of women. Ugh. I don't know. I don't know what Bruce was over there doing, but, Caitlin is having a rough ride of it. And Bruce was, I guess, somewhat attractive as a white man, but Caitlin as a white woman, not so much. Let's get into this, y'all. This is disgusting and disturbing, and I almost hate that, I have to share it, but I hate that it's a thing for sure.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to speak in code and use other words or not say words, or else this video will be taken down. And it is awful because this deserves to be as horrific as it is. but that's what I have to do. So here we are. CNN released this piece about how they discovered this global academy online that in February alone saw 62.
How you gonna be ungrateful? You have addressed the
No. Sorry about that, y'all.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to like speak in code and use other words or not say words, or else this video will be taken down. And it is awful because this deserves to be as horrific as it is. But that's what I have to do. So here we are. CNN released this piece about how they discovered this global academy online that in February alone saw 62 million visitors, where men discussed ways to get away with drugging and assaulting their wives or girlfriends, in particular to photograph or videotape it and put it online, which is all very reminiscent of this case from southern France in 2024, where a man named Dominic Pelcott was doing this to his wife. He had set up a so-called dating website in a chat room called Without Her Knowledge, and at least 50 other men were tried in this. This is where he would drug unconscious his wife, and then she was over 200 times by 70 men. They only found about 50 of them, though. And on here, these men, the one thing they're concerned about is just the overdose. I'm scared of her overdosing and dying and then me catching a murder charge. Not the horrific thing they're going to be doing to their spouse. They want to know how to get away with that as long as they don't catch a murder charge. And you have people like this guy who's in there selling little potions you can buy. He says, yeah, this will knock her out. She won't even taste it. And bragging, showing all the packages he's shipping to all the very happy customers that he's getting who want to do this to their spouse. But of course, the big draw to the website is the photos and the videos that men upload of them doing this and the people who want to enjoy that. See, physical grape is horrific. There's also cyber grape, and cyber grape usually has very short statutes of limitations that you can see someone charged. If you don't find it in enough time and get them investigated and prosecuted, they can get away with it. But this is just the guys who want to do this to their spouses or significant others. Here's another trend from Brazil that just got revealed around the same time.
Men are training to attack women in case she says no. This misogynistic trend is sparking outrage in Brazil following a knife attack on a woman. Helena Anísio Rosa, 20, turned down a man who had been sending her flowers and chocolates. A month later, he broke into her home and stabbed her around 50 times. Ana was placed in a medically induced coma and took weeks to recover following multiple surgeries. At the same time, a trend went viral on TikTok in Brazil showing men hitting or stabbing mannequins or imaginary people with the slogan, "I'm practicing in case she says no." According to Alana's mother, the attacker followed this type of content on social media. The case has raised concerns about increasingly common misogynistic posts and their potential impact on violence against women in Brazil. Last year, 1,586 femicides were recorded in the country, a record high.
Honestly, I won't be surprised if that trend picks up elsewhere outside of Brazil because it's all men. It's all men until it's no men. And if that makes you bristle hearing that, understand that when this came out, there's a bunch of dude in comment sections making all kinds of excuses for this. Like 62 million, it means 62 million people viewed it. It means 62 million visits. One person could go 100 times and then that's 100 views. And also, we don't know that it's men. There could also be, get fucked with your splitting hair bullshit. Get fucked. You know what a bear has never done? A bear has never joined an online community to find out the best ways to eat a woman alive. A bear didn't have to make TikTok trend about what am I going to do if the woman runs away from me? Bears have only ever attacked people out of like fear or hunger or desperation. Men will do this shit for sport. Men aren't nearly lonely enough. Not nearly lonely enough. There is a fucking epidemic. This is an epidemic. And we have to do something about it. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to like speak in code and use other words.
Elle said the first comment is hilarious. It says, time for the Rena Bobbitt lessons. This is what I feel about that, though. Like, we definitely need to get some martial arts, some training for our young girls. Just like they get driver's license training, they should probably get some, training on how to protect themselves. What you say, T? I remember when a man did this to his wife, and they were older couples too. 62 million, and I'm like, what level of insanity? This is not some strange person off the street. These are husbands. This is your, you're supposed to be your protector. You know what I'm saying? That's what the people said. And here he is out here. It's disgusting. I'm not surprised by this. Men cannot handle rejection, so this is how they will take what they feel they deserve. All these wives are probably trapped. Yes, I think these are probably traditional wives. You know what I'm saying? I think these, and I'm not saying, I don't want to say it's not men of color, because I think men of color are just as bad a lot of the times, but I feel like the way their jealousy works, they like their trapped wife in the house, not allowed to talk to anyone outside the house. These people are into some other type of thing. Yeah, he had over 50 men, 50 were found guilty, but I think there were 70 that, 20 or something went free. Ugh. Hit the like, people. Thank you, Elsid. Just in case you forgot, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that. We be over here every day, Monday through Thursdays. Hidden cameras in the house. I guess, child. I don't know. Maybe that, I don't know if that's what it takes. But if I need hidden cameras in the house, then I guess I should just leave the house and let the nigga stay there. It's a trip, because I remember a story from years ago, and I mean probably 20 years ago, that was on 2020 about men in Brazil. What the hell is wrong with the Brazilians? Because there was a story on 2020 or Dateline or one of those type of news media shows about a Brazilian husband. He threw acid on his wife's face, and he didn't get in trouble because he was her husband. And so, you think our legal system is a mess. It's a trip. And I thought about it after I listened to this story. Well, I've said many times, I live in a very highly Hispanic community. It's a lot of Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, ain't no Brazilians. And it's funny because, during the holidays, the Brazilians come over here to do a lot of outlet shopping. And, I don't know what the prices are like over there, but these are the Brazilians that have money. They come over here and they go to the outlets with empty suitcases. And you hear the people that work in retail, like the Brazilians are coming, like it's going to be some type of invasion over here. So I just thought about, of all the Hispanic culture that, is here, it's not a lot of Brazilians. I'm not sure why that is, but yeah, I think we need to get our daughters, like I said, when they get driver's license, we get them prepared for debutantes and quinceañeras and all of these things where they're putting on dresses and parading themselves around. Get them some martial arts training. So when this dude come over here, you know what I'm saying, with his just in case she say no, you give him a little bit of just in case he act a fool. So we on the same playing field. And girls are smarter than men. So, it's not likely that if she's prepared in the right way, then she can, at least have some type of self-defense. It don't necessarily have to be martial arts, but self-defense is important. There's a CNN doc on YT that shows it's all over Europe. They actually found one of the men with his wife. I said that sounds like a European thing. I'm not saying that men of color are not abusive, but I don't feel like it's in their mind normally to watch their woman, with somebody else. I feel like men of color, when they're in that abusive mindset, and I'm not saying all, but I feel like the majority of them are on this is my property, don't look at it type. You know what I mean? Either way, it's toxic, but this is why the Convention of Santiago from Love is Blind, Argentina was major for people in South America. He got 15 years for DV. I'm not familiar, but Elsid over there, Elsid 932 is over there with the whole series. So if you want to hear it, Argentina, go check out Elsid, because I'm sure she got the deets. I'm not familiar with that particular story, but child, we stay going overseas to doing some stuff. Go ahead and go to Brazil, get your teeth done and all that kind of nonsense, and then you end up with another type of situation. Good morning, Lotus Egyptian Flower. Yeah, like I said, we spend a lot of money, and this is real, like real life, especially now. Like women are vulnerable. Um, Rights are being taken away. We've got men, in charge of things. So when stuff like this happens, they might even, be in the position to go free. So when you out there buying Sweet 16 things, get your daughter some self-defense classes, some martial arts classes, something to arm her. And you ladies, don't get no drink by nobody other than the bartender. And he might not be right. That's why y'all can't go alone. Get you a girl bartender. My daughter is a bartender. Get you a girl bartender. Go to somewhere where you're familiar. I heard a story from a guy on TikTok. I didn't save it, but he was talking about how he was out with his kids, and a little kid walked up to his kid and tried to get his kid to come with me. And he saw two adults around the corner. So they even using kids to lure your children. Get your kids some self-defense courses so they can manage to have another layer of protection against what's crazy out here in this world. This guy on Instagram in Brazil who advocates for women to have their own train car. I mean, you mean when they're traveling? He goes in the car and tells the men to get out. Oh, wow. I think that's due to high essay that happens on the train. Probably. Is this based on what I'm hearing about Brazil? Everything I've ever seen in Brazil is real ghetto, though. I feel like they third world. That's not somewhere I've ever wanted to go. Sorry, Brazil. If y'all aren't following Tizian, you should follow him. He be out there. He be on their ass. These people that be out in the streets acting a fool, he will find them. So I think, it's interesting. I sent him a story the other day. I'm sure he was tagged in it many times. I'll share it with you guys. Yes, forward it to me. Watch the bartender too. Yeah. Get you a girl bartender. Go places where you're familiar. A lot of these places, people are working together. The bartender get you drugged. And, you know what I'm saying? Everybody put their hands on the table. Or bring your own drink in your purse. T says she be down to the out. First of all, she do not be out in no club. Things are different now, though. I'm not a drinker, so I was always the designated driver home. I didn't need to be. I wasn't gonna do too much anyway. Get the wine purse. They got a lot of little things. I seen brushes with a little alcohol in it. Oh, the club people gonna hate y'all. You say, I totally agree. We attended 3 quinceañeras last year. The amount of money that goes into celebrating a birthday, in my opinion, is wastefulness. The money could be used in a better way. I mean, I ain't got it, but if you got it, and that's the tradition, I'm not saying don't do it, but while you out there spending on that money, include some self-defense classes for your daughters and your sons, for your children in general. Make that be a part of, because the men are vulnerable. Young boys, I had a client come through the salon that worked for the FBI, and she said that there's probably more young boys being trafficked than there are young women. So, your boys ain't necessarily safe either. Get some self-defense classes for your children, because there's some creeps out here in this world. And clearly, they targeting women as if, they deserve your phone number. I didn't ask for your funky flowers. Now you want to hurt me? And like I said, he may not get in that much trouble based on, what I've heard about Brazil. They allowed to be just too daggone wild over there. Whew. What else? What's next on the list? Okay, so we didn't get a chance to get to Coachella last week because, I had to cut out. So let's get in a little bit to Coachella. You say you just be talking and you be home in your yard. That's what I said, Elsie. She talking about she ready to, get a credit card in her granddaughter's name, though, for she could go see Chris Brown. See how y'all be out here, y'all grandmamas and things. El Cid got Coachella on her list. I'm not going in deep, El Cid. So wherever I leave off, I'm sure you will pick up. But I did get a little bit of information about Coachella that I wanted to share with y'all. So let's get into the woke ginger.
Coachella Music Festival makes the news cycle. So here's my annual reminder that Coachella is owned by a billionaire who supports MAGA candidates. Coachella is owned by Onchets Entertainment Group, and Philip Onchets has donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to Republican political action committees and super PACs. These political action committees have supported Republican candidates who are anti-LGBTQ+, as well as women's health when it comes to access to abortion. One of his top recipients over the years has been the Republican Senate Leadership Fund. He's personally donated $1 million, and his company has donated $750,000. The House Republicans' Congressional Leadership Fund was also not left out. He donated $125,000, and his company's donated $250,000. So while we don't want to admit it, supporting Coachella and artists who do, like Justin Bieber and Sabrina Carpenter this year, are actually supporting a billionaire and Republicans. This time of year is when Coachella Music Festival makes the news cycle.
All right, this is information that I did not know. I ain't never been to Coachella. I hadn't planned on going to Coachella, so it's no big deal to me because I wasn't going anyway. But yeah. You got the price breakdown? Well, I didn't get all of that. I just got the lineup and the fact that Coachella is MAGA over here. So, all these artists that go over to Coachella, their money is going towards, the white nationalist Christians. The lineup, you got Justin Bieber. Bieber is back. I like Justin Bieber. They said Bieber was over here using his YouTube videos, singing in the background. They were hating on that. I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? So I like Bieber. They said his performance was, good. Would I go to Coachella to see Justin Bieber? I would not. I would just go to TikTok to see Justin Bieber. The same way I'm going to have to see Usher and Chris Brown. Christina Carpenter, I see her. Is she the new Britney? Justin is the new Justin? I don't know. Justin Bieber is his own Justin. Christina Carpenter, Sabrina Carpenter. I mean, she real cute, Yeah. El Cid, the Queen Bee was over here, but she be down there with the Kushners and things. So B ain't said nothing, but we got our eye on the Queen Bee. And Jay-Z may or may not have a son by somebody who got pregnant while she was underage, but that's them Carters and things. We talking about Coachella. Sabrina Carpenter, she must be the new Britney. I see Sabrina on things. She got a few little hits, that's cute or whatever. I wouldn't be seeking her out. I'll be seeing her little cakes out. You know what I'm saying? All the time. When you see Sabrina Carpenter, you see her booty cheeks. Carol G, Carol with a K. She's the new Shakira. So, I was not familiar with Carol G. And so when I went on her page, I saw all of my, Latina ladies that, are on my friends list. They over there, they follow Carol G. So she's the new hot thing. I listened to her music a little bit. I wasn't moved by it. So she wouldn't be somebody, and I like Spanish music. So it ain't that. It's just that I wasn't really feeling her. And what's this other girl's name? Anima. I think that's how you say it. Anima. I don't know her. This ain't the Coachella I would have been going to even if I was a Coachella person. But, now that I know they MAGA, it ain't something I ever got to do. But I am not a festival person. I like to go eat, get dressed up, or go to the show, maybe catch a little something, on the way home, a little, drive-through action. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm good. I don't need to stay somewhere outside in a tent and showering and, porta potties and all of that stuff. I own porta potty. So I don't do outside festivals and things. It's Florida. When the Freak Fest comes down here, it's too hot. I have not heard anybody that has gone to the Freak Fest, and it'll be a little old school concert or whatever. The lineup be good, but I have not heard anybody go that had a good time because it's hot out there. And then, in the middle of the day around here, sometimes between, morning and afternoon when the sea breezes collide and then, the lightning start happening, I don't want it. So you said Coachella was started to be an anti-pricey music festival. That's where it started, but that ain't where it is now. But they acting like they, you paying all these thousands of dollars, and I think the ticket started out at $500 and something, but the resale then got them up to $2,000 to $4,000. I'm not spending $2,000 to $4,000 to go out there and get cooties with a bunch of stinky, crackers with wet hair. Sorry, y'all, but I feel like that's what Coachella is. I don't do outside festivals, like I said. The way I was raised ain't got nothing to do with it. It's just something I don't like. I'm not into. So yeah. Anyway, Elsie, when are you doing your breakdown so we can know, when to catch it? Your Coachella breakdown, because I would love to know. I know you better ask Elsie because she's gonna have all the details over there. You said you don't know anybody except for Justin Bieber. I've heard of Sabrina Carpenter. You know what I'm saying? If you ask me a Sabrina Carpenter song, I don't know it. But if you play a Sabrina Carpenter song, I'll be like, oh yeah, I've heard that song before. Like I said, she's the new Britney, but I'm not a pop music person. So I've popped my way all the way out of there. We didn't meet Justin Bieber over here. We met him over there with Usher and them. And we know how that worked out. So I ain't mad at Bieber for whatever he got going on over there. 10,000 for those tents is wild. Oh, stop it. 10,000. Get out of here. Yeah. Sometimes white folks just be dying to be oppressed. That's what I'm saying. Oh, Big Body Bookham in the house. What'd you say, Book? Just jump in and say hi. Say something about what we talking about over here. Hi. Ciao. Anyway, maybe today at 6 p.m. Today at 6 p.m. You have members at 8. Okay, y'all, set your notifications. She said maybe. So set your notifications over there with El Cid 932, and then we can all be in the conversation, in depth about Coachella. 2,500 additional. Y'all giving all the details. It don't matter, because when you said 2,500, I ain't got to get to 10,000 because there's no entertainment I need to see for 2,500 that doesn't provide a table, some food and beverages, and a toilet that's not a porta potty. I cannot porta potty. So she said this week for sure, if not today. So we'll be looking. And whenever she makes the announcement, if it's before I do my morning live, then I'll remind y'all. Does not include running water. I can't. Y'all are gonna make me sick. It's too early in the morning. Coachella is not for me, and I ain't nobody over here performing that I would want to see anyway. Y'all, have you seen LaToya Jackson? What is going on? This lady has had one hell of a long life. That hair is all the way down to the floor. I didn't see that. I don't know how her frail little neck can hold on to that heavy ass wig. Does she eat food? What is happening? So we got, who do we have in this picture? We have got Blanket. Blanket is the tall gentleman. Last time we seen Blanket, he was hanging over the balcony. We got Prince, Michael's son from that lady. Paris is not there. She already told y'all how she feel about, this movie. You got Jackie. Jackie still look good. You got Jermaine, another weirdo, and Jermaine got a little baby. Jermaine is 70 years old and he has a little baby. Ciao. What y'all saying? You don't camp, you glamp. Yes, glamping has hopefully a cabin, a toilet, and access to Wi-Fi. Yes, child, that's LaToya. That's what she looked like now. And I was like, what the heck? And if you go to her page, like we can see, you can't see the picture? Well, let me see. Oh, you know what? Thank you for saying that. I'll be over here clicking back and forth, looking at things by myself without letting y'all in on what's going on. Here it is. Here it is. We still looking at Justin Bieber. I'm trying to get y'all over here with LaToya. Good grief. It must be time for me to, I need to re-up on my caffeinated because now I'm over here doing the most. Here she is. Child, look at her standing there looking like she weighed 12.5 pounds. And then that wig weigh more than she do. So yeah, you got Blanket, Prince, Jackie, Jermaine, and that's Jermaine's little child. So he looks like he's somewhere around 3 years old, maybe. And yeah, Jermaine is still out here having babies. The wig is to the floor. Yes, child, the wig is all the way to the floor. And what is she dressed like? I mean, really? Is she performing at Coachella? You know, LaToya been messed up for a really long time. So let's go ahead and get into what they were saying over here on TikTok about this Jackson family. They was over here at the premiere of the movie. You know, they had a little drama. You know, Janet was not in favor of the movie and Paris was not in favor of the movie. Y'all going to see it. I'll see it when it comes to cable because I'm not going to the movie theater to see it, I don't believe. But yeah, here we go. Down to the movie premiere.
They thought that deliberately wearing a wedding dress and a flamboyant crown would draw everyone's attention. However, Janet Jackson's move completely humiliated her. At the premiere of Michael's film, members of the Jackson family were present to meet fans. But what caught everyone's attention was Madea, dressed in a wedding dress and an exaggerated crown. She intended to establish herself as the new matriarch of the Jackson family in front of the media. But Janet's action completely embarrassed her. Jermaine and Madea had been engaged for many years, but the core members of the Jackson family had never officially accepted her in public, and they had never held a grand wedding. At this globally watched important moment for the family, Madea deliberately chose the suggestive look of a wedding dress to declare her importance in the family and show her indispensable presence to the world media. Additionally, she is 40 years younger than Jermaine, and this has often been a subject of criticism. This time, her extravagant wedding dress and crown were meant to respond to the doubts about her status. In the face of Madea's provocation, Janet remained very calm. She did not directly respond to any controversy, but interacted and liked the family photo posted by her nephew Prince Jackson on social media, which did not include Madea. She then announced the latest preparation video for her world tour, using music to remember Michael and continue his legendary influence. Madea Velasquez, Jermaine Jackson's wife, thought that
So Jermaine has a new young wife that's 40 years younger than him. These people are very weird. I'm sorry. So let's get into a little bit of Jermaine's family business.
And married his brother's baby mama, and then the family couldn't get rid of the woman. So in 1986, the youngest Jackson brother, Randy Jackson, met the Colombian model Alejandra Oaziaza. They dated for a couple years and even had 2 children, but it's said Randy was still in his playboy phase and had no plans on settling down with Alejandra. To make matters worse, while she was 7 months pregnant with their second child, Randy went off and married another woman. Enter Randy's older brother, Jermaine Jackson. While Randy was off on tour, Jermaine swooped in and took this lady without him even knowing. Alejandra said she was looking for a man who was more family-oriented, and apparently that's what Jermaine was at the time. The two had 3 children of their own, one being Jafar Jackson, who's set to play Michael Jackson in the upcoming biopic, and they even secretly married in 1995. This set Mama Jackson off, but Randy really threw a fit. He felt betrayed by his brother, stopped talking to him for years, and called Alejandra a pig. That's when he stopped paying child support, saying to get somebody else to do it. Jermaine did fill that role, taking care of Alejandra's children with Randy as well as the ones she had with him. He was uncle, father, and provider. But here's the catch. When Jermaine tried to divorce her in 2004, he realized his wife had been married the entire time. She had gotten married back in 1987 to some random dude for a green card, which Randy already knew about, and maybe one reason he never took her seriously, though he never gave his brother a heads up. Even though the marriage was annulled, the family still couldn't get rid of Alejandra. She decided on her own that in exchange for neither brother paying child support, she and her kids would stay at the family's Havenhurst house. It wasn't until 2010 that Catherine was finally able to get her evicted, since that agreement had never been approved by a judge. That woman gave the family hell. That time, Jermaine Jackson married his brother's baby mama, and then the family...
I'm guessing they're having a show coming up. There's, video of his daughter talking about it. So there's 4 kids, 2 by Randy and 2 by Jermaine. Was Rebe there? Probably not. Rebe don't. I did not see Rebe, but she could have been there. You said, why is she standing like that? You talk about LaToya. I don't know, child. It's somebody probably had to help her up because it don't look like them legs could sustain. You just don't trust Jermaine doing a movie about Michael? Me too, but I think this has less to do about Michael and more to do with his son being put out there in the front. So he's not with the kid's mother. Now he got a new young wife, that Janet doesn't like. I guess Janet, she can't be worse than the woman that married both of your brothers and some dude for a green card. So, she's not the queen. Catherine is still the queen. She ain't going nowhere yet. So, child, hope he didn't take another of his brother's ex. No, this one seems to be, she is 40 years younger. This should have been on Age of Attraction. I mean, they wasn't far off from there. So, and this girl got a baby, but they said he don't be paying child support. So, I mean, good luck with that. How she figure she the queen of the family? Not be married to Jermaine. That doesn't make you the queen. What'd you say? Their kids are all siblings and cousins. Uncle Daddy. She just moved into the mom's house. Yep, sure did. And then she was a squatter. They had to get her evicted. Maybe Jermaine, went ahead and approved it. I wonder why they had a picture of Michael Jackson sitting next to Madonna. I was like, they ain't got nothing to do with Jermaine's mess. Michael got his own things. Fortune favors the bold, so they say. I guess that's a bold move. Let me just go take this mansion because y'all are bugging. Jafar and Your Majesty. Yes, child. Hey, Kiwan. You over here early. So, yeah, I'm guessing there's some show coming up. The daughter and the mama, they got a little clip going on, but they have music going on in the background. So I was like, I don't want to get into, that because, I ain't no point in me getting in trouble over some Jacksons with, 2 cousins, brother, sister, cousins, wives and things. So, child, these Marys. Let's talk about these Marys. We started the conversation the other day, but, more things transpired after I got off the line. I got off of, what's her name? Tina. And here come Erica. Erica hates her sister. What the heck is up with Erica for real? Oh, goodness. It's hard to look at LaToya. She just don't look right. So here's Tina and her husband on the Steve Harvey show back in the day. We know Tina, husband went and filed for divorce, and they have been separated since 2024. So I guess it was time for somebody to pull the trigger, but this is just a flashback, because once he filed for divorce, then all the people came over here with something to say. So this is
Tina, how'd you find out about the affairs?
Someone actually who knows me very well, they were watching me on the reality show, and I was always saying, I can leave all of this. I'm just be with my husband, and I don't need none of this, just me and Teddy, and they can have this. And they were like, listen, I hate to have to say this to you, and I followed the information that I found out for 6 months to make sure it was true, because I don't want to break your heart, but don't stop doing what you're doing, because you might need to take care of you and your kids. So they told me about 2 of them, right? I had talked to my husband 2 days before I was in New York, and I talked to him and I was like, listen, honey, I got reason to believe there's something that's going on, and I need you to be, I'm coming to you because I love you and I want to be able to work through whatever this is. And I need you to tell me. We stayed on the phone for 1 hour and 8 minutes. He didn't give me nothing. So when we came home, the person who it was, she used to work for me. And so that broke my heart. She was like a godmother to my children. She had access to my home to come get my kids and all that kind of stuff. It was very, mixed in our family. And so I called and she didn't answer her phone. So when we got home, it was Super Bowl Sunday, I said, come upstairs. I said, are you having an affair with her? And he said, no. I said, call her. While we doing this, I was like, call her. And so he did. And he was like, Tina wants to know, and da-da-da-da-da. And I said, are you sleeping with my husband? And she hung up the phone, so I had my answer. So it broke my heart. It devastated me, and I spazzed out. I destroyed 3 cars. I cut up and crashed up and tried to stab and plotted murders and all kind of crazy stuff because I was angry. Then I started doing all of that, and I said, I'm practicing dying every day. Either I'm gonna die wrong or live right. And so we've been working on living right.
It's the
Tina, how'd you find out about
applause for me? Like, what are we clapping about? So this happened, child, all the way back when we was watching Mary, which that show was so good. That show was so good. Anyway, we remember Teddy was cheating with her friend of the family. She towed them cars up. And she decided to stay. She decided to stay and work on her marriage. I mean, she towed them cars up, child. Listen, Elsie, you say, girl, get yourself together. I'm a break things kind of girl. And I feel like tearing his cars up would have made me feel so good. I could feel it in my bones right now. I know sledgehammering his car would have given me so much satisfaction. So yeah, I get where she's coming from with that one. But the people clapping because she said, and I decided to stay after all of that. She's burned too many bridges for that to happen. Listen, Magatina was over here standing behind the Grand Cheeto in charge, the Grand Wizard. So insane, this whole situation. This could have been a setup for another reality show. Ugh, child. It would be so toxic if they came back. And you know why I say that? Because not only does Teddy hate Tina, let me see what y'all saying. She shot up that Mustang. Girl, that would have made me feel so good. Teddy just sitting up there looking like a fool. You was watching the show just a few weeks ago on Roku. She really is the pill to Erica. Well, she's all about her man and bump her sister, but they bump each other. That's, I guess, how they feel about each other. It was the God in her to destroy that car. Child. Listen, I told y'all, I will break some glass. I need to, get it out. I need to get it out so I don't hurt somebody. Stormy was over there saying, Stormy from Bell Collective says she stabbed the grass. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna have to try that one day when I'm like in my angry energy, because you said ain't no way I'm catching a charge for destruction of property. It was her property. You think Teddy paid for that? No, that was stuff that probably came from her Mary money. So Teddy loved them cars, but Tina tore it down. What he said, I brought you in this world, I could take you out. So it appears as though, so this news came out on what, Wednesday? Tuesday, Wednesday. By Thursday, here come Erica. And that's why I said, Erica, this was so mean. So while her sister was dealing with the public embarrassment, that has gone along with her taking this man back repeatedly over all his cheatation. There was even a story, I didn't let it go. There was a story that somebody called into T.S. Madison and Kaya's show and said that they were sleeping with Teddy, and it was a dude. So we don't even know which direction Teddy even be swinging in. He was just out here getting all the extras outside of his marriage. But here, Twitter is dragging Erica Campbell for posting a vow renewal announcement the same day her sister's divorce went viral. The same day? while I'm sitting home crying my heart out from embarrassment. Here go Erica.
Thank you so much for all of your submissions. Yes, I am celebrating 25 years. Me and my husband are getting married again. Our vow renewal celebration will be powerful. It is not just celebrating us, it's celebrating everybody who's been on this journey with us, our entire family, those that have prayed for us, covered us, walked with us through difficult times, all of that. And I want a dress that represents all of that. It's not just about me and him. It's a celebration of love. It's a celebration of what I believe God has done in and through us. And I'm super, super grateful. So thank you for all of your submissions. Child, y'all sending submissions to everybody. The deacon at the church, my high school music teacher. Y'all done reached out to everybody. You can leave your handle. You can DM me with your designs, your page, and all of that. I've gotten some beautiful, amazing, wonderful pages. And I got a tough decision. I have stylist Jay Bolin helping me and the Gugu Atkins helping me decipher and figure out who that person is. Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for all of your submissions. Yes.
So you said the only one you like is Gugu. Yeah, that's the only one I think most of us like. A Gugu came to the internet and said, don't call her, don't ask her about nothing. She don't want to hear about it. Let me not hear that voice. Okay, you say maybe the announcement was her way for her to take the eyes off her sister. Is that what you really think, Miami Gardens now? Or maybe it was a way, I don't know. I don't feel like it was a way to take the attention off her sister. You know what I'm saying? It feels like, so this is the story. The announcement was already made. That's why she's talking about submissions. The announcement was already made, and I guess she wants people to submit some kind of ideas of something that relates to her vow renewal. So it wasn't like the formal announcement. So since she had already announced it, I feel like then this could have waited. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. The same day, she could have waited until next week. Like, when is the vow renewal? Like, just give us a little time, especially for people who already knew. So I think this was, I don't know. I think this was a shot at Tina. You said Erica's always been a look at me person. Well, we see it didn't work the way she wanted to, because this was, I think Tina is, oh my God, Tina used to wear my last nerves, that Tina did. But dang, this is her sister. You don't know them folks? Never watched Mary Mary? Oh, you missed out. Mary Mary was some good reality TV. Mary Mary and that show with them darn preachers was also a good one. Them mega church preachers. That was some good reality TV, child. The mega crooks and the Mary Mary. I've always thought that Tina was kind of an asshole. So her holy didn't really come through. And then her standing by MAGA because of the Christian values, tells me everything I need to know about Tina. So yeah, child, I don't know what's worse, Teddy or Erica, because she didn't give a darn. She did not give a two hoots about her sister's feelings. We have yet to hear what Tina has to say, but I kind of don't care what she has to say. At the end of the day, you married this man. He cheated on you like with your friend, and you decided to stay. And you were over there saying he did it again and again and again and again and again. So you kept, forgiving the man, staying married to him. He seemed like a hostage, if you ask me, like he was afraid to leave. So Teddy bounced. He said, he'll leave it to the judge to figure out the visitation. He's not asking for any kind of custody of the kids, and spousal support or alimony will be discussed at a later date. So maybe they should figure out them finances. Maybe Miss Tina might need to go on over there and seek advice from a financial advisor. What'd you say? High Vibe. Since that show, I haven't listened to their music. They're hypocrites. They're very hypocrite, both of them. And Warren was over there. Warren Campbell was over there cheating too. So while Erica's trying to sit up here and sell us that her marriage is so happily, her man also, was not faithful. He had some infidelities. her family was telling her to stay. They did tell her to stay. Erica said, get over it. And it was the friend. That's the thing. Like, he didn't just go out and cheat. He was like being disrespectful all up in her house and with the friend. This is the person that's supposed to be taking care of your kids, the nanny or whatever. Y'all and them nannies. Anyway, Tina treated her marriage awful. She didn't cover her when she was acting wild. Girl, them misinterpret the scripture again. Tina was something else. I know she had me frustrated. Me and T used to be on the phone talking, about this daggone show. Tina wore my nerves down. Don't feel sorry for her, honestly, because if the man did all that, then Warren had a whole child. I forgot about that. So there's a baby. These two need to go sit down somewhere. They really do. They really do. When they, over here preaching, is that what the gospel say? Let the man do whatever he want. He can sleep with your friend in your own very, bed, or he could go out and have a baby, and you're just supposed to be like, God told me to stay. God told me to tear up your damn car. That's where I'm at with it. So, yeah, y'all. Like I said, at the end of the day, I don't care what Tina has to say. I feel like you asked for it, you got it, and now, figure out how you're going to split that coin. And Erica, you can continue to sit over there and feel like you're happily ever after with that man that's also a cheater. And Latoya, oh my goodness, I don't think it's anything we could do for her, child. Pray for them legs because they look like they're about to give out. I'm going to end with this one. I just want y'all's opinion. I know what mine is. So apparently this young lady is going to her 8th grade dance, or, you know how they have the little dances for the 8th graders. Anyway.
I mean, you acting crazy. Nothing wrong with this dress. It's real cute. We have the little flowers and stuff, the little sparkles and the little flowers right here. Then it's a little poofy and long and stuff like that. It's real cute. I don't understand why you don't want to wear it. This dress is not ugly. This dress is real cute. Then it's white. No. Like, it's so cute. Look like feel like a little satin and stuff like that. Like, it's cute. You're not going to senior prom. You're going to 8th grade prom. What's wrong with that?
This not what I want to wear. And it's not even a color.
So what's the color?
Red.
And then look, the back out. The back out. So cute. And then you could tie it up at the back. Look at the little bow when you tie it up.
And I'm not wearing this.
This dress is real cute. You're being ungrateful.
Well, you wear it.
Can you at least just try it on?
No.
Girl, y'all just ungrateful. Like, you going to an 8th grade prom. You're not going to senior prom.
Well, that's what you're going to get the dress that I want to wear, because I have to wear it.
You're being ungrateful.
I'm not.
You are.
It's my decision. If I don't wear it, then I'm not going to wear it.
Okay, what does that mean? You need to buy your own dress. That's what it sounds like to me. Now,
I get my lashes done.
Lashes done. Girl, we're just going to 8th grade prom.
Like, they're so difficult.
I'm not being difficult. You're the one being difficult because I have your dress right here. You don't want to wear this dress. How you going to be ungrateful? You have a dress to go to prom and you acting crazy.
So what do y'all think? Is she being ungrateful? Is she acting crazy? I see y'all are on the same page as me. That looked like a baby dress for a christening. It does. It looks like a little girl dress. Well, you wear what you say. Well, you wear it. I guess you ain't going. That's it. I feel like this was a missed opportunity, honestly, for, like, why not go with her and pick out the dress with her? I don't like the dress, and I'm not the little girl. The first comment had you mad. That dress is ugly. What was the first comment? Let me see. First, 8th grade prom set the tone for freshman year. Sorry, mama, that's not a prom dress. That's a flower girl dress. It did look like a flower girl dress. Is that the comment you're talking about? Let her pick her dress. Feels like the comments is giving Easter Sunday. All the people feel the same thing that we are feeling about this dress. Okay, I agree. She definitely does not need lashes. I think she threw that out there. And I think as a mom, that's when you're like, you're 13. When you can afford to get lashes, then that's when you'll start getting some. White. Why not a different color? Did the mom buy the dress or without she went without the daughter. The daughter said that the dress is supposed to be red, but I feel like mama can't afford anything else. Well, take that one back. and we can go figure it out. You can go to Temu or Shein and find a dress, but I think the little girl should have some input on her dress. Everybody agrees that's ugly. I think at 8th grade, it doesn't have to be, revealing and sexy and doing too much, but it's an opportunity to, teach your daughter what is appropriate and what's not appropriate. And she's definitely at an age where she can get some input on her dress, I feel like. Definitely not any eyelashes. Like, her hair is already braided. It's expensive to be a girl mom. And yeah, we knew all year that this event was coming, Mom. So these are things that, birthday monies and things, there's ways to prepare for this. What'd you say? High vibe. I don't like it when mothers do their daughters like this. Stop battling over clothes unless it's inappropriate. And let her have some input. How are you going to know what she likes? She's like, I think it's cute. It's sparkly. That dress, maybe if she was 6, it would be cute, but that's not, that's not what she's good. She's going to look a fool going to the dance with that dress on. I would rather not go than wear that dress. Is everyone going to be wearing red? And then she has to go with some white dress. Right. That looks like it's for, they said Flower Girl or Easter Sunday. It's a lot of, opinions, and none of them say, yay, we like this dress. So, moms, listen to your kids. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we, come from this era of just because I said so. And honestly, as, I have, my oldest is 38 and my youngest is 20. And I have a 26-year-old in between. And, the parenting was different for each one of them. But by the time I got to the last one, I did realize how important it is to let your kids say their piece. I don't mean disrespectfully, but I feel like they should at least, feel like they're being heard, and telling them to shut up because I said so. I feel like, sets the tone for them not sharing anything with you. So you can still make the decision, you know what I'm saying? And even if I'm not going to do what you're asking, I feel like I should at least let you say your piece. Then I can explain to you why, we're not going to go that way based on, why, and not just because I said so. It's time to communicate, like this little girl with the doll. What if her mother would have said that you sound like a stupid bitch, like Stormy's mama did? Not to go left, but the same mothers like to bully and humiliate their daughters. It seems like, well, we are watching it, right? So on top of her doing this, she's recording it. So now this girl, everybody can see online on TikTok, because that's where it is, how this mother was over here, trying to force this child to wear this ugly dress. There's some cute dresses at Ross. You could go to Ross. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're not doing eyelashes, and you can explain to her why. Get the mascara. That's a good compromise. Light blush. This is when they start learning. You know what I'm saying? And it's definitely a missed opportunity to bond. That daughter would have remembered, how much fun she had with her mother shopping for her 8th grade dress. Now she's going to remember how her mother tried to push that ugly dress on her. That outfit is for a little kid. Yes, it's a little kid dress. She don't want to wear that. Look at my son walk around. Yes, my nephew, man, he was Iron Man. He was Wakanda, until he outgrew it. He was all the time. And he was a superhero. And I remember him telling me it was a Sunday. And he said he was off. It was his off day. He couldn't superhero. And I was like, well, then who's going to protect me? And he was like, it'll be fine. He'll be back to work on Tuesday. And he was probably, 4 years old at the time. The mother was out of line, plus humiliating the daughter online. Give her mother, give her the Mother of the Year award. Right. Yeah. Well, we're like-minded over here. This afternoon at the Coffee Talk. We want to see the young lady get a dress that she is excited to wear. You know, moms, stop putting everything on the internet, humiliating your children. You know what I'm saying? For clicks and views. This isn't even something. So what is she standing there with the camera in this kid's face while she's like, you know, telling her how she's ungrateful? Oh, pretty little girl. I love it when the kids be characters all the time. Yeah, her T's son, like he was serious about it. And matter of fact, you know, we have our own channel, Shooting the Shit with Rhonda and T, and it's so funny because that's where we started. T and I started, you know, reviewing reality shows, and then, you know, D grew up and turned into a football star, and then T had to like be a football mom. That's why, you know, we don't do that channel anymore. But I have gone back and looked at him from the very start where he turned in, you know, from Iron Man to Wakanda to Black Panther. And then, you know, his voice changed, and we have all that, you know, documented, which is really fun. He, you know, turned into a football player, and that's what he is now. He takes that very seriously. My two, I got a little Spider-Man out here, and we don't know what little mama is gonna be, but you know, he's been a Pikachu or different characters. If that's what he want to wear, that's what he want to wear. I love it when I go in the store and I see little kids and they shorts and cowboy boots and, you know, sword, and they, you know, totally using all of their imagination. And, you know, that's what, like we started, that's what I feel like we need to feed into. Let them be children, because there's so much ugliness going on out here in the world. But anyway, y'all, before you go, let me remind you, if you got some shit you need to let go of, go ahead and let go of it, because it's not going to benefit you none whatsoever.
Let this be a message to you. You holding on to shit too long. You know, sometimes you just gotta let shit go. Yeah, you wanna get rid of your problems? Let that shit go. That's all.
Let that shit go, y'all. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all tomorrow, 10:15. Thank you for hanging out with me. And this was Coffee Talk. Bye, y'all.